Eevee is one of the most beloved Pokemon of all time. With its large amount of evolutions, there's a favorite for everyone. That's why I love seeing what creative new forms developers give them in fan games. In the Pokemon Platinum ROM hack, Platinum Redux, there are a bunch of regional forms of old Pokemon, and while Eevee remains the same, all of the eeveelutions have been transformed with new typings and abilities. Starting in Dex order, we have the fan favorite Vaporeon. Keeping the water type, but now with its polluted look, gains the poison typing. The shiny is also extremely disappointing, to be honest. Other than its new look, not too much changes for it statistically. HP is still its best stat, but was lowered to 125. Special defense was also dropped by 15 to 95, so it's not as bulky as before. Defense, however, was raised by 30, sitting at 90, so it's not all bad. 110 in special attack is pretty solid in this game. Both of its new abilities are poison themed. Poison Point gives it a 30% chance to poison any Pokemon that touches it with a contact move, and Liquid Ooze damages Pokemon using draining moves on it. The latter is the better ability in most cases. One of the best moves Vaporeon gets now is Octazooka, which was buffed to be 100% accurate, 70 base power, and will lower accuracy 50% of the time. Gunk Shot was also changed to be a special attack and has a 40% chance to poison, but lower base power at 100. It's not as good as the original, but overall it's not bad. I'm absolutely a fan of Jolteon's new design, and its shiny form works much better for this version since it's a bug electric type. Quick reflexes are enabled by pressure-based triggers, not unlike those found in insects. Jolteon still keeps its blazing speed, although it was dropped to 125. Still keeping 110 in special attack like Vaporeon though, so it's a threat offensively. It's not as fragile on the defensive side anymore, and might be able to stick around longer. They gave it one of the better bug-themed abilities in Tinted Lens, doubling the attack power of not very effective moves. Definitely the preferred ability, as the other one it gets is Motor Drive, and getting it to activate is tricky and not even that beneficial. It gets a cool new move, Short Circuit, which is an electric type close combat, but it's a physical attack, so it's probably not the best to run. It does get a special new bug type move though, being Assault Order, not to get confused with Attack Order, as this one's a special attack and has a 15% chance to poison. With Galvantula not in this game, this is the best electric bug type you can get. Flareon is one that always needs some love because it's never been that great of an evolution. Now it becomes a spooky ghost fire type. Said to have an incredible sense of direction, it guides both travelers and souls. I really wish they did more with the shiny though. The stat spread for this Flareon is actually pretty good now. Even with attack dropping by 5 to 125, it's still a scary attacker since speed was raised by 30 to sit at 90. Special defense remains a solid stat for it at 110. Defense might not be the greatest, but the Flame Body ability could end up destroying a physical attacker and then it could survive longer. Or it can have Unburden and make its speed insane after Flareon loses a held item. Activating this with Rest and a Chesto Berry works, or using Overheat and a White Herb, but Flareon doesn't have great special attack. So the best way to get Unburdened to activate is with the new Sacred Fire, which takes 2 turns to activate and will increase the attack before using. Slap on a Power Herb and it will activate instantly. Increasing speed and attack while attacking is just insane. Flareon might be the best evolution in the game. Moving on to Gen 2 evolutions, we have the new Espeon, stealing Shiny Umbreon's look with the black and blue coloring. Becoming a type I honestly wasn't expecting, Psychic Rock. It's actually really bad defensively, so keep that in mind. As far as its stats, they're almost identical to the original, but somehow worse. Losing special attacking power, dropping by 5 to 125, and dropping some special defense, again dropping by 5 to 90, while speed remains the exact same. The thing that's actually an upgrade is the ability it gets, Magic Guard. That way it can at least hold a life orb without any consequence. Mind Crush is 110 base power and has a 30% chance to burn, paralyze, or even freeze the target. Only problem is its accuracy of 75. A freeze can be massive though, as it can set up with Nasty Plot and do real damage. Pair it with Excellagem, a 60 base power special rock move that always increases speed, and it might become really dangerous. It's not that this Espeon is a bad Pokemon or anything, but it just wasn't much different from the original. Now Umbreon is my favorite evolution by far, and its regional form in this game is just amazing, and is the main reason for making this video. It takes regular Umbreon and makes it into a sick dragon. With the deck stating, when darkness falls, this nocturnal predator relentlessly hunts its helpless prey, obviously becoming a dark dragon type. And considering Fairy doesn't exist, it's not a bad typing. As far as its stats go, it's going to play a similar role. It's very defense heavy with 110 and 125 in defense and special defense respectively, but it can actually hit back with 85 in attack. 70 in special attack means you can be comfortable running both. Be careful using status moves like Toxic to stop Umbreon, as it has Synchronize, so it's just going to go right back at you. Or Umbreon can have Pressure, and with the limited PP on moves in this game, that ability has more value, especially on a tank. The Stab Dark move, Umbro Rival, can make things much worse with its higher power and 10% accuracy drop. Or the Dark move, Terrifier, and its 30% chance to paralyze. Umbreon can even heal up with Moonlight and then hit back with Roar of Time, so it's just a beast. For sure, one of my all-time favorites in this game. Now we look at the Gen 4 evolutions who actually recently received new forms in the latest update. Leafeon still looks like the original, but is more detailed and looks a bit more dangerous. The shiny is also excellent and actually fits its new typing truthfully. Leafeon now becomes a grass fighting type. To be honest, I wouldn't have guessed that unless I was looking at the shiny. The original is a good attacker with strong defense, but now that has been flipped. Its attack is much better with 125, and its speed is much better at 90. Defense was dropped to 90, but I never considered Leafeon that tanky anyway, so I like this change. I really wish it kept Chlorophyll because I don't think its abilities are very good. Shield Dust protecting it from secondary effects like burns is fine, and Effect Spore can be clutch, but not reliable. Leaf Blade and Close Combat are probably the best stab moves Leafeon learns, and it learns them pretty early on, so that's useful. It learns Sleep Powder later, which sounds pretty nice, but it's only 65% accurate and only has 2 PP, so it's kinda weird. Sky Uppercut isn't bad though, and has a 15% chance to flinch and can pop up when you least expect it. This is a Leafeon I'd actually consider using. The counterpart to Leafeon, Glaceon, is also sporting a new design and actually has a fantastic shiny, unlike regular Glaceon. Unfortunately though, it no longer has the type advantage over Leafeon, and in fact gets destroyed by its fighting moves with the Ice Steel typing it has now. Quite a weird typing as it has many resistances, but 2 4x super effective weaknesses, so you gotta be careful. If it's not facing fire and fighting moves, taking it out can be really difficult with the highest stat being defense at 125. With 90 in HP as well, it can be used to tank hits. Dishing out attacks back with 110 special attack. Glaceon is great for hail teams as it can set up hail on entry with snow warning. If you already have a hail setter, then running the filter ability is probably ideal as it will cut super effective damage down by 25%, so fighting and fire moves aren't as bad. Glaceon doesn't really have a great speed stat, but with Chilly Tempest, it's a strong stab ice move that can be used to lower opponent's speed, opening them up to hit twice in a row if they outspeed. Frost Drain is also a really cool ice move as it's basically an ice type Giga Drain, making Glaceon last even longer in battle. While it's a nice defensive wall, I can't get past its potent weaknesses. People are always asking for new forms for Eevee, and even though these are really just reskins for the originals, it's still nice to get something new for it. Which one of them is your favorite? Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.